This journey through the spiritual teachings of Buddhism will take us on a voyage to understand the significance of always being silent in 5 situations. Number 1, the power of silence. Number 2, silence in the face of anger. Number 3, silence against gossip and slander. Number 4, silence during conflict. Number 5, silence in times of sufferings. Let us discuss these 5 situations one by one. Number 1, the power of silence. Silence is not just the absence of noise. It holds profound meaning. As the renowned master once said, silence is essential. We need silence just as much as plants need light. This notion goes beyond quietness. It speaks to the necessity of creating space within ourselves. In Buddhist philosophy, silence serves as gateway to inner peace. When our minds are cluttered with thoughts and words, there is little room for clarity or understanding. Buddhism acknowledges this and encourages the practice of silence. Silence is not about positivity or indifference. Rather, it's about being present, attentive and intentional. It's about actively engaging with the world, while maintaining a sense of inner stillness. In this way, silence becomes a powerful tool for transformation, enabling us to navigate life challenges. Let's remember that silence is not lack of noise. It's a profound state of being that empowers us to connect more deeply with ourselves and the world around us, and embracing silence as a source of strength and empowerment in our lives. Number 2, silence in the face of anger. These words carry profound wisdom, especially in a world where anger can often cloud judgment and lead to unintended consequences. When we cling to our desires tightly, anger can take hold, blinding us to the interconnectedness of all things and impermanence of life. In these moments, silence acts as a powerful antidote. Rather than reacting impulsively, silence gives us the space to pause and reflect on the source of our anger. It allows us to step back and observe our emotional reactions without immediate judgment or expression. By practicing silence, we engage in mindful breathing and self-inquiry, gaining insight into the root cause of our anger. This practice is deeply rooted in mindfulness. By remaining silent, we can ask ourselves essential questions. Why am I angry? What attachments or aversions are triggering this anger? Such inquiries often lead to profound insights into our emotional landscapes, helping us to address underlying causes of our anger. Moreover, silence acts as a shield, protecting us from harmful consequences. In moments of anger, we may say hurtful words or make decisions we later regret. By choosing silence, we prevent ourselves from causing harm to others and maintain the integrity of our relationships. Ultimately, the practice of silence in the face of anger leads to greater emotional balance and equanimity, bring us closer to Buddhist ideal of freedom from suffering caused by anger. Through cultivating this practice, we pave the way for forgiveness, understanding, and profound personal growth. Number 3, silence against gossip and slander. When you come across gossip or slander, it's often best to stay silent. Gossip and slander are like harmful arrows. They hurt both the person talked about and the one speaking. In Buddhism, right speech is a big deal. It's about being truthful, kind, and helpful. Gossip and slander go against these principles and can cause problems and sufferings. Gossip and slander often come from negative feelings. It can damage relationships and trust. Choosing silence has few benefits. First, it stops us from taking part in harmful talks. Second, silence lets us to think why people gossip or slander. Or they jealous or angry. So, when we stay quiet, it might make others think twice about their words. If they see that we do not join in, they might stop to gossip or slander. Number 4, silence during conflict. Conflict is a part of life, but how we handle it can make a big difference. Buddhism suggests silence is a way to deal with conflict. When conflicts arises, it's often because of difference in opinions, interest, or values that can lead to arguments, hurtful words, and upset feelings. In these moments, silence can be like a soothing ointment, giving us a chance to step back, think, and respond calmly and kindly. Choosing silence does not mean ignoring our feelings. It means creating a space for listening, empathy, and common grounds. When we stay silent, we let ourselves and others to speak, without fear of judgment and making things worse. Plus, it helps us stop the cycle of reacting with anger or defensiveness. Conflicts happen in all kinds of relationships. Family, works, friends. Buddhism recommends silence during conflicts because it can lead to a more thoughtful and caring resolution. Being silent does not mean we are ignoring problems. It's about creating a space where both sides can talk without getting upset. When we are silent, we can really focus on what the other person is saying. We can understand their feelings and see where they are coming from. This kind of listening can calm things down and make it easier to find a solution. If we react with anger or defensiveness, the conflict can get worse. But silence stops that cycle. It gives a chance to respond calmly and think what's best for everyone involved. In conflicts, silence in conflict is not about ignoring the problem. It's about dealing with it in a thoughtful and caring way. By practicing silence, we can resolve conflicts in a way that keeps our relationship strong and promotes peace and understanding. Number 5. Silence in times of sufferings. Always be silent when you witness the suffering of others. Compassion lies at heart of Buddhism, and this teaching emphasizes the power of silence as a means to express compassion and offer solace to those who are suffering. Suffering is an inherent part of human existence, and it can manifest in various forms. In such moments, our natural inclination is to offer words of comfort or advice to try to alleviate the suffering we perceive. Buddhism suggests that in many cases, silence is more profound and compassionate response. Silence in times of suffering communicates our empathy and presence. It conveys the message that we are there to support and listen to the person who is suffering. Sometimes, the most significant gift we can offer is the presence and ability to listen deeply. Silence in times of suffering is deeply rooted in Buddhist principles. Buddhism teaches us that suffering is a natural part of life, but it can teach us important lessons. When we quiet and silent, we might realize some profound truths about ourselves. We might see that everything in life is always changing, including our pain. We might also understand that we are not alone in our sufferings. It's something which everyone goes through. This understanding can bring us comfort and help us to grow as we come to an end of our journey through the teachings of Buddhism and power of silence. Remember that every moment of stillness holds the potential for profound growth and insight.
Like, comment, and subscribe.